these two specific questions around sleeping and how to maybe sleep better. I mean, the quick answer is around relaxing before sleep. Don't take in the news before you go to sleep. How you prepare for sleep. The person is asking, my 8-year-old seems to be sleepwalking so much more now than before. Any advice on that?
Well, the first part of the question about sleep in general, again, I use a picture when I work with people who are having unstable sleep. And the imagery I use is of overalls, of somebody wearing a pair of overalls. And the only way you can get overalls off you is if you take the straps off the front, let them go through the back, and let the overalls fall to the ground. And that is what sleep is. It's taking off your overalls and letting them fall to the ground. And the reason I like that imagery is because I think for a lot of us, because of the anxiety, the stress, what's coming the next day, deadlines, whatever it is, things we're not looking forward to, it's really impossible to let those overalls fall, because I think there's this concern that we're not going to be able to have the strength to pull them up the next day and strap them on again. So what people do is essentially hold on to the overalls, and that's why they can't sleep. So the idea is to meet sleep halfway. If you find yourself falling asleep on couches, in front of TVs, with pizza in your hand, the idea is you want to avoid daytime naps as much as you can, and you want to try to create a ritual. Like Sandra was talking about, the separation between work and home life. It's a separation between being awake and being asleep. And most people do not create that space where they allow themselves to stop the day. I hear from my patients, they've got tablets in their bed with them, they've got things in the bed with them. You want the bed to be just you and the bed, or an animal if you've got an animal that sleeps with you. But you don't want your devices on the bed. It's been proven that if you turn your devices off 30 minutes before you go to sleep, you're going to sleep better, because the blue light will not be hitting you in the face, and your eyes can get used to that. Otherwise, you'll be jittery from the blue light. If you have a 2-hour window that you feel comfortable going to sleep every night, and a 2-hour window where you feel comfortable waking up every morning, if you stay within those 2 hours, meaning you start to go to bed around 10 with the idea of being asleep by 12, you will wake up between 6 and 8. That's how the body likes to work. The rest of our system likes variety and change. The circadian system likes things to be the same. So if you can find your routine that you do at night that separates you from your life, whether it's reading for an hour in bed, whatever it happens to be, meditating before you go to bed if that's your thing. But the idea is to create that window of time that you turn your life off and you meet sleep halfway, which is how you let the overalls drop.
And what I like to do and what I like to suggest to clients is filling your mind with positive thoughts before you fall asleep. What I do for myself is that I think of the projects that I'm doing in my life that give me warmth, that give me a sense of enjoyment and a sense of looking forward to. So if I'm in the middle of a knitting project or the middle of baking bread, I'm thinking, okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be doing these steps to get it done. And the sense of looking forward to doing something positive, as well as what I've accomplished during the day. And that puts me into a positive mood as I fall and as the overalls drop.
That's an amazingly good point. I want to restate that because I think it's such an important point. The idea of, for me, it's graphic art. My knitting is graphic art. What I've learned to do is, most people have this when they have something like knitting, where you could just do one more purl kind of thing. You just want to keep going, and you end up staying up way past your window because you just want to finish it. One thing I've really learned to do that I love now is stopping something in the middle because you have it to look forward to going back to. So when you find something, whether it's you finish one section of color if you're knitting, for me it's if I get the angle of something right when I'm doing graphic art, stop right there. Just stop when it's getting late and know that you've got something now to come back to and pick up right where you left off. That's such an important thing.
There was another specific question I actually do not know very much about, restless leg syndrome, and any suggestions with that.
That's a great example of something where most physicians are working virtually right now. And it would be, if there's more somnambulance than there has been, if there's more sleepwalking than there has been, to contact, physicians and just check in and find out if there's anything that can be done with decreasing dosage. of medications, if they're on medications. A lot of people's dosages can be going down now because we're not as active as we were in many ways. People are not, with ADHD medication, for example, they're not needing quite so much because they don't have to concentrate on quite so much. So it would be probably good to check in with anything physically related, like restless leg, just to check out to see if there's something that could be adjusted.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think and also to remember that those sleepwalking and restless leg, they're very influenced by stress, which of course we are all very stressed out right now. So to kind of anticipate that can happen, that it's not necessarily so out of the norm because we're all under a tremendous amount of stress right now.
But any ideas around, the question was that the person is experiencing their 8-year-old sleepwalking more now, as Sandra, as you say, it related with the stress that's happening more now.
To me, it means that the mind's more active. If they're sleepwalking more than they used to, that there's probably more anxiety for the kid or more boredom, depending on the age. The idea would be to try to soothe them before they go to sleep. Just in this case, going back to what we were talking about a supervisor dealing with, an employee's having a meltdown kind of thing, just to be able to say to the kid before he goes to sleep, how are you doing? Check in. How are you feeling? Bear witness.